Enlightened mind. Healing your emotional self will stop noxious ignorance. Enlightenment for beginners, now made easy. Written by Luke Experience, narrated by Ilan Krasilnikov. Chapter 1. Enlightenment. Whatever that means to you, it can be defined as the transformation of human consciousness. It is about having new perspectives and taking control of your energy. Of course, this journey will not be easy for many people, but it can also be the best experience of your life, if you allow it to happen. Enlightenment has a lot to do with how we perceive reality, and our connection to the world around us. When we come into the world, we experience all the good things that the world has to offer in our lives, and we love it. As we age, we begin to realize the beauty of this world, and the things that are not as great as they could be, and the connection that we once had with the world starts to wane. Enlightenment is a state where we have made peace with the world around us. We have learned to relate more with others and the rest of the world. What do you see when you look at the world? Do you see beauty, or do you see something that is only superficially beautiful? Enlightenment is a period in time where you can no longer separate the inner world from the outer world. It is a place where you are no longer limited by the perceptions and thoughts of others. It is a place where you can truly live the life that you were meant to live. Enlightenment is also a place where you can transcend the limitations of your physical body. It is a place where you are able to step out of your body and live an existence outside of your body. You will feel the presence of spirits surrounding you, and you will be able to enjoy the presence of God. If you are the kind of person who prays each night and tries to be perceptive in all that you do, you will certainly find this state of being quite remarkable. Enlightenment is a state where you can remove your mind from the thoughts and emotions that you're currently experiencing. There are many psychological methods that one can use to stop this negative process. In my own research, I have found that meditation is one of the best ways to stop the negative mind chatter. Most people will say that if they could simply quit thinking of a particular situation and relive that moment, they would see the problem for what it was. Enlightenment has been described as one of the highest states of consciousness. The practice of yoga, prayer, meditation, and other methods of spiritual cultivation can all be used to develop a greater understanding of what enlightenment really is. There are many methods that have been developed and that are designed to help people reach a state of heightened awareness and clarity. It is important to understand what enlightenment really is. There are many stories that have been told about the way that enlightenment can be achieved. However, there is no universal standard for what enlightenment is. It is up to each individual to figure out what enlightenment is for them. On the road to wisdom, we come upon many kinds of enlightenment. For example, when I think of enlightenment, I think of something like faith in yourself. Faith is not just the love of God, for instance, but like religion, it requires a basis. And that is the existence of something. In the beginning, there was no God, no inner self or self-realization. There is only what we call God. Like any kind of belief, it took an experience of an assessment of the content and design of the experience to arrive at a belief. That's part of the logic of enlightenment. To become enlightened, you need something to believe in. It's not something that has to be right or true. It's something that says, I don't need to know why I believe. I don't need to know why you believe it. The knowledge of the power of faith is a gift from your own unconsciousness, which knows why you believe what you believe. Religious enlightenment can also be included. Often, we find ourselves in circumstances where we have no choice but to be the object of religious faith. We've been through trauma and suffering and are in some kind of turmoil. By the grace of God, we find ourselves with a friend, and we give ourselves over to love, and our friends give himself over to his friend. Both of us are mystically enlightened. The enlightenment process happens in all these situations, although the spiritual part of the enlightenment process is more likely to come in the first situation described above. This is because that's the situation where our reality is beginning to change. We're becoming grounded and our suffering is being healed. The common experience of enlightenment is that it can be painful. That's not a surprise. We can't help it if we're spiritual, or if we're highly sensitive, or if we're lost and find ourselves in the middle of many miseries.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?